it was a big win for Leigh Wood tonight. And on that, welcome Mr. Wood, and questions up to Leigh and myself. Crack on. Raise your hand, you get a microphone.
Obviously, congratulations on the win. We saw that tension sort of cooled at the end, and there was some mutual respect between you and Josh. Do you think that was perhaps, after the heat of war, that was perhaps always going to happen?
Yeah, you can't really explain it, but once you're not long on each other for 12 rounds, yeah, I think you view each other differently. Got my respect, especially after 4 rounds, hit some good shots, and I thought, you know what, you are tough. And just catching the tail end of that conversation when I walked in there, and maybe he's tall, maybe he's not quite what it was. I think I boxed a better version of Josh Warrington tonight than I did the first time. Fitness, strength, and all the rest of it. He was a little bit more cautious as well. I think if I'd boxed this Josh Warrington that time, I probably would have had a hard fight. But we knew him better when he was standing better, thanks to Leigh and Ben. Looking at him.
You mentioned that you found him a little bit cautious. Is that something that surprised you about Josh tonight?
Yeah, a little bit, because I thought I'd be able to catch him a bit clean. I did earlier on, and he thought, I'm not going to give you them. And then he was a little bit more cautious, so my shots weren't quite there. I had to make little adjustments, and he made adjustments as well. Hurt me to the body, and I think it was the third or something, really hurt me as well. But I hurt me to the body as well. We had the conversation already.
Fantastic.
Congratulations, Leigh.
Thank you, mate.
Doing your style, what you came in with. Yeah? Did you plan to do it that way? Hands down and boxing elusiveness. We know the style we've done.
Everyone will look at that like, hands down, but it's not so much the hands down, it was the principles, as we'll talk about, letting him go on my time. It wasn't so much, hands down, elusiveness. That wasn't it. It's the timing, going on my time and telling him when to go, being ready. It was more that, having my hands down. But for this approach, it was easy to have my hands down, relax, to see shots come in, set shots up.
Leigh, congratulations. You touched on in the ring, inspiring the next generation, what Carl Froch did to you. Like, there would have been so many kids in that crowd watching at home, watching you. Can you just expand on what that means to you, what you're maybe doing in the community to inspire the next generation, and how important that is to you?
Yeah, I hope so. I really do hope so. I'm a patron for Switch Up Boxing, which is not just inspiring kids to follow my footsteps, it's also a place that brings young offenders into the gym and gives them a second chance. So kids will come into the gym, Switch Up, and they've got loads of employees ready that they work together with, and they're giving them a second chance. So if they've done something silly, got caught up in some trouble, they'll get them into work. So that's another important thing that I'm part of. But inspiring people, like you said, when I was a kid, I feel very lucky to have been part of Carl when I was at the amateur boxing club, Phoenix, see him win a world medal, and see him bit by bit fill that arena, fight by fight, a quarter of it, half of it, then eventually all of it. And I remember in the stand screaming, looking around when he boxed Pascal, and thinking, I'd love to do this one day. And same when I went to Sheffield, and I seen Kell Brook do it with Eddie, Hillsborough Ledge Centre, and then at the motor point as well. So I feel lucky to see how they adapted and took it in the stride, helped me so I wasn't starstruck when I come out, I'm not used to this. So I feel fortunate to be a part of that and seeing that, and hopefully there'll be fighters that are coming through and see what I've done and help someone their way as well.
Leigh, I just wanted to ask you a bit about mindset and resiliency, because there's many other boxers out there that have probably had a few losses and maybe would think about quitting. What made you push through?
It's a hard question, because I just do it. I just do it, and I'm going to be really honest tonight. I didn't think it was going to be possible. I really thought I was going to nail him, but like I said, he made adjustments. When I caught him early, I don't know if he worked on camp, you're going to be there for that, so you need to be careful or hurt him early and made them adaptations. But I thought it was going to be an inside 4-round job. People think I'm crazy, but because of the setup and how I've been sparring that. But like I said, he was very cautious. So after 4 rounds, I thought, this is probably going to go 12. But I couldn't. Like I said, looking back now, I've got to make more adjustments and probably gone to the body earlier by the by. But yeah, so mentally, I was round by round, I'm going to do 12. I didn't really expect it. Part of the mentality, you have to just crack on. I have many injuries this camp. nerve damage on this, and I don't want to moan about it, but I just crack on. I always have, and as long as I'm boxing, if I box it, I'm not sure yet, but I just do that, I crack on. That's probably how I got to where I am.
Sorry, Leigh, when you look back at your 2 fights with Josh, obviously the wins, but the atmosphere, the memories, I imagine it's just a feeling of pride between you two.
Yeah, some career he's had as well. The run he went on, Selby, Frampton, Galahad, and that was part of Galahad's gym as well, so I know how good he was. So credit to Josh, like I said a minute ago, he's inspired so many young kids coming through, young fighters. So yeah, you know, is that my yeah. Someone was question again.
Just like, when you look back at your 2 fights with Josh, I imagine just feelings of pride.
Yeah, sorry, like I said, yeah, so he's inspired a lot of people, he's doing so well, and same for me, you know, we together, it takes 2 to tango, together made them big fights and then big atmospheres, and even Sheffield Arena with Barnes, but tonight was an incredible atmosphere, and it takes 2.
Leigh, congratulations. What do you think means more, this second win or Forest potentially staying up?
Hopefully, we'll give us a bit of a push, better win the other night in the Europa League against a good team, 3-0. So Liverpool tomorrow. I'm going to take the kids, I'm going to like them for it. But we're going to the Forest game tomorrow. We're going to get some food after. So we need to win tomorrow. It's a big game, but we've already beaten them away, so I'm sure we can beat them at home.
I've got one.
Yeah, go on, Ben.
To Eddie, your best Leigh Wood memory or favourite night?
I think it's always going to be so difficult to beat the Michael Conlon fight. I think it's just, I mean, that was just one of the greatest fights I've ever seen. You know, Warrington one was up there as well, but actually, it was probably the Kanzu fight, right in the garden at the fight camp, because we brought Leigh Wood in really, like, you know, you remember what happened?
Cannon fodder.
Yeah, basically. You know, we were what we were doing is we were setting up Josh Warrington against Kanzu, right? And listen, it wasn't just cannon, but it was like, wow, what a great chance for Leigh Wood. He beat Reece Mould in the bubble, in front of nobody, obviously, because we're in the bubble. And that was like, I mean, people don't mind me saying, well, I paid 17 grand? 20, 15 grand?
I didn't get that though, but...
Yeah, well, no, you did for me, but you had to pay your team, just want to make that clear. Yeah, but like, that was, and you were like the fifth fight down on the card.
Let me just tell you, that's, after that fight, winning that British title is the best, nothing's trumped that.
Yeah. That's
the best feeling I've had today.
Yeah.
Even though there was no one there.
But you were, don't forget that, I always say it, but you got beat by Gavin McDonald, the super bantamweight title, where you had done at the weight, in Hull. And really, as far as I was concerned, your career was over. And Carl Froch always used to say, oh, look out for him, give him, you know, any space for him on a card, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. And even before that, you went through such a period of, like, bad luck and almost rejection as well. You were supposed to fight on Carl Froch against Butte, right? And we overrun on time. We wanted you to go on really late because you were from Nottingham, and you ended up not fighting.
Right? I don't like to say bad luck, because you may hear up a guess, but like, that didn't work out, then that didn't work out. It's like, how many beatings can you take? And then,
but then you popped up. But then you kind of popped up for the Reece Mould fight, and I looked at the fight. I thought, that's a good fight, and that was back and forth in that fight. You could have lost that. I mean, it was going both ways. It was a brilliant fight. You stop him, and then it's like, you know, that's great. He done well there. Let's give him a chance against Kanzu. And actually, yeah. But what happened was, you headlined there in the Garden. You won the world title, and then the Conlon fight you were a bit kind of unlucky in the sense that, you know, and I won the purse bid, didn't I? I won a purse bid. That was unbelievable. That don't happen very often.
You're welcome.
I'd say it was also a lot of money. I remember that as well, because I won the purse bid. I went, oh shit, did I? You know, but that fight was incredible. And even like the Maurizio Lara defeat, then coming back and getting the victory against Lara in Manchester, you know, your story will forever go down as one. Like, life is amazing, where you literally are done with no way back, and then all of a sudden, I won't call it luck, because you made your own luck, but just one little opportunity, and then it's like boxing's a game of snakes and ladders, literally, you know, and you go. But you go up that ladder, and then when you get beat, you come down the ladder. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you done it all. It's one of the greatest turnarounds I've ever seen in boxing.
Do you know what? I sat in my bath in Sheffield. I was 30 years old. I was in my facility in my mum's room, my mum's spare room, box room, and I was thinking, right, like, I'm 30, like, I'm not getting my chances, not getting my opportunities, and I was in a good gym, and I thought, what should I like? And I thought to myself, but I could go on a crazy run and win the British, this, that, European world title, and I could go on a crazy run and not lose and do all that. And I thought I could. I didn't think I would. And then, thanks to Leigh, moved down to Ben and his team, and that, and I did go on that crazy run. And it's quite surreal.
But everyone always said you had talent, but I don't even think those people expected you to go on and achieve what you did. So well done you, well done Ben and Leigh.
And a big thank you to Matchroom as well. And
thank you. Listen, you.
Thanks for the opportunity, Ed.
Well, listen, you always. Hold on. What, yeah, that's just the last thing he said.
I want to roll a time and I've got one.
Yeah, and what you know what Ben said? Ben said, I bet Josh Kelly got paid a lot less than you. Yeah. Thanks, Ben. But no, thanks for the team, and a word for Josh as well. I don't think he's, but again, like just phenomenal. I mean, you've been on a run, but that run he went on as well. You know, Selby, Frampton, Kiko Martinez, getting beat by Maurizio Lara in the bubble, Keith Gallagher. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and both of you, incredible. It's so good to see you guys. Whatever you choose to do, you know that you're going to live a great life, and the example that you've set to people in Nottingham, and of course, more importantly, your daughter looking at dad, knowing hard work gets you to where you got to. So, congratulations, Leigh Wood. Josh Warrington.
Just here, Josh.
Josh, the Leeds Warrior. I'm from Leeds too. I want to say I'm proud of you. Very, very proud of you. Always proud of you. Win, lose or draw, you've done amazing things for Leeds, and you've inspired a lot of people. So I just want to say, whatever decision you make from here, I'm with you.
Thank you. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you.
Josh, congratulations anyway. Just keep your head up, keep strong, do what you're doing. You make us proud, and Leeds. I'm from Leeds as well, so yeah, we're here.
All right. Thank you very much.
Any questions?
Hi Josh, commiserations. I just wanted to ask, even though it ended in defeat for you today, are you sort of quite glad you took the fight and got that closure and closed that chapter with Leigh?
Obviously I'm going to sulk a little bit because I'm a winner, and even that I'm 35 now, 17 years deep into a professional career, had many brilliant nights, a lot of majority of them were Matchroom. I'm very much disappointed, hitting my head. I planned that we get a win tonight, trained super hard for the last 14 weeks, give my life and soul to the gym, as I always do. Roll back the years, was in amazing shape, had a few sunbeds, got no hairline, shirt teeth, and thought I'm really good at winning. Turn around to Eddie and say, let's go back to Leeds, and because I know it's strictly his eye tonight when his Leeds fans singing and stuff, and go back and have one more crazy night, that maybe we could sing champions again, European title and all that, but I don't know, I just some stuff off it pad tonight, off it pad, and I wanted it, I really wanted it, but the snap, the bit of fire inside, it just missing. Frustrating.
Yeah, and just to follow up on that, you talked about hearing the fans making all that noise. Does that sort of tempt you to carry on and perhaps have that another night in Leeds and perhaps end on a big high?
Yeah, it's always tempting. It's always tempting. That's for sure. But I'd have to convince my old man. I'd have to convince my missus. I'd have to convince those close to me, because it's one thing getting out there. This week I felt alive, and I've kind of forgot what the feeling is when you're buzzing and you're speaking and you get adrenaline rushes because you're ready to fire it on all cylinders, and then you're sat alone in your hotel room but you're shiting yourself at the same time because what could potentially happen. There's no feeling like it, and this is why the boxers do carry on. it's sometimes a little bit too long, and I don't want to become one of them fighters. You know, today in my hotel room, there's moments where I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling of being in there where not knowing what's to come. But today I'm like, I can't do this many more times. You know, I thought to myself when I left my hotel room, it'll be all fucking over in a few hours, and I'll be buzzing and I'll be saying, why did you shit yourself earlier? Not to be scared about it, and it's all part of the process. But like I say, I've been headlining shows for over 12 years now, and it's, you know, I've had 3 kids, and I don't know, it's a bit of inactivity over the last few years with the big gaps in between the fights. It's probably taxed a little bit off me, but yeah, I've got some serious thinking to do going forward, but probably I'll make a decision sooner rather than later.
Josh, first of all, commiserations. Leigh Wood said that he saw a much better version, a much more improved version of you in the ring tonight.
Yeah.
What did you make of Leigh tonight, and did you feel like he was as tough as the first fight?
I'll be honest with you, I think I was mentally better prepared. I know that sounds like I'm contradicting myself because of what I just talked about with the other stuff and going through a bit of a battle in the hotel room, but I think coming off the Lopez fight now, you know, I haven't really had much of a conversation with Eddie, but you know, when you rewind back to that year 2022, I beat Kiko Martinez, I'm world champion again. All I've got to do is get past Luis Alberto Lopez, and you know, then we can be looking at a unification fight again, and the big dreams on, you know, go to America and all that stuff. But there was a moment in that fight where you walked backstage, and we were walking towards the stage, and I wanted to go home. I wanted to go home because, you know, I mean, I had nightmares for weeks and weeks and weeks about me with a jaw. I had some real bad times trapped there preparing for that fight with fucking sleepless nights, and one of my sparring sessions, one specialist said, like, you have to be careful, it's still relatively only just healed, and if it breaks again, it's going to be life-changing. And I'm like, what do you mean life-changing? Like, you're never going to be the same again. Like, well, what, in case of what? So I carried them frighteners into that fight, and I think that's why I started so slow. 8 or 9 months later, I fight Leigh Wood down in Sheffield, and I think the majority of that build-up is I wanted to just feel like me again. But I did carry a little bit of anxiety going into the first couple of rounds, and I think you could see that for the first 2 rounds. And when we were at foot today, I've trained super hard. I feel super strong at super featherweight. Against Catching a couple of years ago, I felt maybe he were a level above me in terms of like physicality. Today I didn't feel like we would. You know, I felt like a solid super featherweight, but I felt like I could see a lot of things he were doing, but I couldn't let the trigger go, man. I couldn't let the trigger go, and I kept going back to the corner, half knowing that I was going to get a ball licking off my old man, half knowing what he was going to pick me up on, but yeah, it's one of the more frustrating things. You know, the game plans we've worked on were more or less there, but it's not coming.
Josh is in.
Josh, there was a moment after the fight where you were in the corner and you were looking up at the fans. You just described your emotion at that moment.
Oh yeah, I mean, bottom lip started trembling. Like, you know, when you've got people spending their hard-earned money, some people that might be into the bloody overdraft or taking loans come to the fight. I know I've been in that position before, and some of these guys have followed me miles and miles and miles, and they've sacrificed so much, you know, weddings, funerals, you know, birthdays, just to be and support me. It's like enough. 4 losses prior going into this fight, and they're still behind me, chanting and cheering and singing my name, and it's like, you know, if this were the last one, it's one thing that any professional athlete, it all stops, and then you don't get them moments again, and it's scary to think about that, you know, because these are some of the greatest moments that you have in your life, and I'm not saying that my life's going to end now. You know, I've got 3 beautiful kids and a wife, and you know, I'm going to make some more memories, and potentially, you know, do more stuff in the sport boxing outside of the ring. But that moment when you're in the ring and it's all about you, then it's just a surreal feeling. I can't ever put into words of how that feels to be, especially at one point, long before Eddie knew who we were, and I went struggling to sell 40 tickets to Bolton football ground when I was fighting on Frank Maloney, not Kelly Maloney, when I was fighting on them shows. It's mad to think that, you know, we've sold out Leeds Arena 12 times, we've done Ellen Road, we've done Headingley Stadium, we've done Wembley, and it's 2 headline shows in other cities.
You just said there, if this is the end, would you follow your dad into coaching, or would you be managing TV? What would you want to do to stay in the sport?
Acting as well.
Hey, Corey, Emmerdale, Hollyoaks, give me a shout. Guy Ritchie has quoted and said, listen, I'm in the wrong job. But yeah, I don't know, I think I'm doing a bit of work with my manager, VIP promotions. You know, let's carry on doing bits and bats of that. I don't know if I've got the patience for training just yet, because I know that what is needed from a fighter, and I feel that if I went into training, I'd put 100% effort in, I'd be obsessed, and if they didn't put the same effort in, then I'd be fucking upset. Chris, I'd be very upset.
Just in the middle.
Question for Sean. Josh's got a lot of thinking to do now, obviously. He told us all before the fight the numbers he was hitting, and look, I was witness to a lot of it as well. He's trained hard, but if this is the end, sort of, how do you reflect on what's been a movie career for him? He's come a long way.
I think he's been a fantastic ambassador, not just for boxing, but for the City of Leeds itself. I think there comes a time where you've got to be realistic. You know, he's just lacking that 10-15% tonight. Preparation went well, sparring went well, everything were in place, and I just won't get in it. Just won't get in it tonight. So I think there comes a time where, you know, like I say, as a fighter, they know themselves. You can't tell them when they're done. They've got to experience it, and they've got to tell you when they're done. I think he's realising now, you know, but fantastic career, 17 years as a professional. Massive thanks to Eddie and Matchroom. You know, I mean, he's come out of it very, very well. Changed lives, you know. All that already, Matchroom, careful management. He's had a fantastic career. I think what we're going to do now, we're going to do a little bit of fishing in summer. A little bit of golf. And see what happens. No, I think, to be honest, I would like to see him stop now. I think realistically, and you've got to be realistic because, you know, it's a dangerous sport. Done very well, fantastic ambassador, but the sport itself, I think it's time now to wrap it up. Still be involved in boxing in other ways, you know.
Josh, just following up from what we were talking about before, you said about the anxiety after the broken jaw going in to the next fight. Obviously, with what happened in the last fight, was there a bit of anxiety going into tonight as well?
Are we talking about like Kakachi?
Yeah, and then going into this one.
Yeah.
No, sorry, with what happened in the Leigh Wood fight going into.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Probably not as much. I think. Yeah. I think around this, getting off the stools going into the 7th round. I think someone whispered into my ears, always 7th round here. Make sure it doesn't happen again. But no, I think after the first little bit, I felt that no matter where we're gonna throw, I had a better focus on defence and stuff like that. I felt like interestingly enough, again something I never really spoke about when he caught me in the 7th round of our first fight. He actually hit me on the plate when I had my broken jaw off Kiko Martinez, and I had my plate removed about 3 weeks after that, and it had all become infected. So I don't know if that was a weaker spot, I don't know, but yeah, I certainly felt that this time around I don't know, like fears in terms of that sense. Yeah.
Josh, just from me, obviously when you hear Sean talking about this possibly being, or he'd rather see you end your career tonight, I don't imagine you can, or anyone in here could imagine you continuing without him in your corner. Yeah. So do you feel like that's maybe, this is the last time we see the Leeds Warrior in the ring?
Well, again, I need to have another little chat with him because I don't think he wanted me to carry on after Kakachi, but I managed to be able to convince him. We had he didn't want me to have the Acid Khan one, which came at short notice, but again, I managed to convince him for that one. We got through that, and then got back into the gym, and I was showing. I rolling back the years with some of my sparring partners, and basically that's training. But yeah, obviously we need to. He's making a lot of his feelings known right now in front of you guys, but we need to have a real chat. But probably will do listen. I will listen to him this time round. But yeah, let's not make any immediate decisions just yet.
Well, thanks everyone. I just want to say, Josh, how proud we are of you every time. Unbelievable.
Sorry to cut you off there, I know you like to talk. But you know what, I'd like for many years that, I probably haven't known as you, as many other fighters do, but I just want to say, Bomb me, mate, thank you very much. The first term we had with you guys, absolutely fantastic. We had some great memories in Leeds with the Mighty Lindsay, the European, going over to Berlin, come back to Leeds with the 4 runs there. Obviously then I jumped ship, I am sorry about that, but come back and we had some other good nights, the Kiko Martinez one especially, and thank you, mate, I appreciate it.
Thank you, you've given British boxing, the run you went on
has been
incredible, and you are a great of this generation, you really are.